Hey guys, assalamualaikum. Welcome to Marriage Mondays, where we spend Mondays talking about marriage. My name is Kamara.
And my name's Amir.
And today we are talking about nagging versus communicating.
Question of the week. How many times do you think you should ask someone to do something?
And if they don't do it, how long do you wait before you ask them again?
You know, two categories of nagging. And the first one is where you're continually finding new things to nag about.
Yeah, like, you said something to them, they fixed it, and now you're like, you're just like there, just in their face constantly without allowing them to breathe and work on what, they need to work on.
The second is that you're nagging because your partner isn't responding to what you're complaining about. So you've brought up something that you would like him or her to change, and they continually almost
ignore.
Almost purposely ignore you.
Yeah. Being what's the word we said earlier? It's just being your partner's being it's mom brain. Your partner is being inconsiderate.
First of all, it's important. We want to make sure everyone knows that it's important that you do bring up things to your partner that you are uncomfortable with or that you have issues with, right? Yeah. It's important to bring up your complaints, right?
Your concerns.
Yeah.
Things that make you uncomfortable or things that you wish to change about your situation or your marriage or anything that you feel your spouse needs to know.
And it's important to do this in a controlled setting, where you're not in front of all your parents or your friends, things like that. You can keep your complaints between you and your spouse, right? You and your partner. So then it makes it easier to have a conversation. For one, they don't feel like they're being attacked as much, and it'll be easier for you to get your point across and not be, influenced by those who are around you. And so I guess we'll give a couple examples, of the first case, right, where you're nagging about something that that someone can change, right? And when you bring forth your complaints, you want to think about what you're complaining about. Is it something that person can actually change, right? Is it a physical characteristic or something like that? Physical characteristics can't be changed easily, right?
Oh, you mean like your spouse's like weight or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Although those can be changed, like when you're complaining about something like that, you should really think about, like, are they a diabetic or something like that? You don't want to attack someone, but there's some type of mental or physical health condition that they have, right? Or you don't want to tell someone, "Oh, I don't like your nose. Go change it." Like this. You know what I'm saying? So complain about things that are reasonable. Come home and you never have food, right? Like
you never have food, or you never have food made.
You never have food, or you never have food made, right? So like for a man, you come home, traditional. The man's like, I should have food made, but the woman's like, well, I should have food to make. Either or. Some men
are stay-at-home husbands, and no, you do you.
Right. So another form of nagging is where you're nagging and your spouse just isn't responding. So for instance,
go on a date because you guys haven't spent time together.
Right.
That's a good one, you know?
So you're like, hey, let's go out. And they're like, all right, yeah.
So you get dressed, you get dressed, you put your face on, and then they're sitting down on the couch, still saying, yeah, we're leaving.
It happened. So you got all dressed up.
So he says, tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. So and then she does the same thing. You don't get dressed. And then same thing. Nothing happens. And then it comes to the point where you're just like, listen, I want to go out. I want to go out with you. I want to have fun. I want to be, I want to experience date night with my spouse. Yeah. This is a healthy form of nagging because that person needs to know that they need to spend time with their spouse.
Yeah.
You could be a nagging Nancy because this person's being inconsiderate.
Yeah. Another thing someone could be nagging about is, if you have a child or something like that, and for some reason your other spouse does not feel the need to change the diaper.
Ooh, or
So,
take care of the child in general.
right. So like the child's hungry, you're not feeding him. The child's, you know, pooped. You didn't change the diaper.
The
So
child
then,
is stanking. You didn't bathe him or her.
exactly. So these things, one spouse, because one of the either the man or the female, most likely the female is going to be
Man or
doing
the female, man or the woman.
whatever. Either the man or the woman is going to be doing the majority of the work, right? And whoever is doing that, they're going to be like, yo, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? And then you're going to be like, yo, you're always like complaining about something. It's like, no, why don't you do something? That's how nagging starts to come into play. And so, with all that being said, it's important to have a healthy way of communicating with your spouse. And you can do that not through nagging, but through bringing up or starting conversation.
Yeah, and like to be aware, like if your spouse is like nagging you, I think the first thing you have to ask yourself is, okay, am I paying attention to them? Am I acknowledging and changing the behavior, or am I actually doing what they're asking me to do? For example, like taking out the trash. If your spouse has to keep on telling you to take out the trash and you find it nagging, it's probably because you didn't take out the trash. So if you take out the trash, then you won't experience that constant, so just
chill out a little bit. Listen to your partner. Things will be all right.
And I think that's it for this week's Marriage Monday.